For anyone in cosmetology, a license is everything. I mean, it's the key to your career, your livelihood. But what happens if the very system that's supposed to uphold professional standards can actually be turned into a weapon? That's what we're digging into today, that very fine line between protecting the public and plain old protectionism in the beauty industry.
And that really brings us to the central question, doesn't it? Are all these rules and regulations truly about keeping us safe? Or have they kind of morphed into a barrier, something designed to limit competition and protect the folks who are already established in the business? Let's find out.
You know, the stakes here are incredibly high. We are diving headfirst into the hidden world of state cosmetology boards and their complaint processes, a world where the fundamental right to just earn a living is constantly being challenged. Okay, so to really get a grip on what's going on, we have to start with the legal bedrock of all this. And I've got to say, I was genuinely surprised when I learned what a professional license actually is in the eyes of the law. So get this, here's a legal concept you might not have heard of. Your professional license? It's not just a permission slip from the government. The courts have actually defined it as a vested property interest under the 14th Amendment. That's huge. It means your right to work is a form of property with constitutional protection, and the government can't just take it away from you on a whim. And that constitutional protection has a name: due process. It's not some vague, fuzzy idea. It's a very real checklist. You have the right to know exactly what you're being accused of. You have the right to have your case heard by someone who is neutral, someone without a dog in the fight. You can hire a lawyer, you can confront your accusers, and any decision made has to be based on actual evidence, not just rumors or whispers.
All right, so we've got these legal protections in place, but to really understand why they're tested so often, we've got to look at the economics of it all. As always, if you follow the money, you start to see the real picture.
So while everybody says the system is about public safety, it creates this interesting economic side effect: monopoly rents. See, by limiting the number of people who can get a license and enter the profession, the businesses already there face way less competition. And what happens then? They can charge higher prices. Economists have a name for this. It's called rent-seeking. It's when a business tries to make more money by messing with regulations instead of, just being better at what they do.
And let's look at the actual numbers, because they really tell the story. The data shows that, yeah, licensing does raise wages for the people who have them. But how? Well, it's by choking off the supply of workers by as much as 27%. The result for you and me? We pay higher prices. And here's the real kicker. Study after study shows it's not even clear if all this licensing actually leads to better or safer service. The results are totally mixed. So if licensing creates these powerful economic incentives to keep people out, what's the tool they use? Well, that brings us right to the complaint system itself and how it can be totally weaponized in what some call the administrative muddle. This quote just nails it. The administrative process, rather than the outcome, is the punishment. Think about that. You don't even need a complaint to be proven true to do serious damage. Just by forcing a competitor to go through months, maybe years of investigations, legal fees, and constant uncertainty, you can be enough to completely wreck their business. The process itself becomes the punishment.
And this right here, this is basically the playbook for how it's done. Step 1, your rival files a complaint. It costs them next to nothing, and a lot of the time they can do it anonymously. Step 2, by law, the board often has to investigate. Step 3, now the target, the new business, has to lawyer up, spend a ton of time and money they don't have, all while their reputation takes a hit. And this is all before a single fact has even been proven.
But here's the thing. This playbook, it doesn't work the same way everywhere. Not all states handle this stuff the same. The way a state designs its complaint process can either encourage this kind of behavior or it can shut it right down. So let's look at a few case files. Okay, just look at this comparison. You've got Kentucky, where anonymous complaints are banned. You got to sign your name to it. That creates a ton of accountability, right? Then you have Texas, on the complete other end of the spectrum. Anonymous complaints are allowed, which, as you can imagine, opens the door to a whole lot of potential abuse. And then there's Florida, trying to find a middle ground. They allow them, but they use false statement laws as a threat to hopefully scare people away from misusing the system. So, we've laid out the problem pretty clearly. It's a system that can be used as a weapon. But how do you fight back? How can people protect their license, their livelihood? It's time to open up the modern toolkit. Today, the best defense is really like a three-legged stool. It's not enough to just have a good lawyer anymore. You have to combine that legal knowledge with modern technology, and this is the crucial part, you have to develop what's being called regulatory literacy. That just means you need to know the rules of the game just as well as the regulators do, maybe even better.
And here is a perfect real-world example of this in action. The Louisville Beauty Academy is basically using technology as a shield. They've created digital logs that can't be changed, and they use AI to verify student hours. It creates a bulletproof record, so when an investigator shows up, they don't have to argue. They just show them an undeniable, auditable digital trail. It's brilliant.
And this is why it is also critical, especially for the next generation coming up. This formula here shows the payback period on a student's education. Every single time regulators pile on more required training hours without a clear safety reason, what they're really doing is making it take longer for that student to pay back their loans and actually start earning a living. Being fluent in the regulations and using digital tools is how you protect that investment.
Which really leaves us with this final thought. This whole system is a constant tug of war, isn't it? It's between genuine public safety and pure economic protectionism. But for the first time, things like technology, transparency, and this new push for regulatory literacy are giving people powerful tools to defend their right to work. The big question now is, can these tools finally level the playing field for everyone?